Sponsored by Sneak Energy.
The name Hermann Tilke is enough to send chills down the spine of even the most dedicated and battle-hardened of Formula One fans. To many fans in Formula One, he is the Antichrist, because he has brought us such gems as Yas Marina and Sochi. But many of the true veteran Formula One fans remember him for butchering one of the greatest racetracks ever. I am, of course, talking about Hockenheim, the German Grand Prix. So back in 2002, Hermann Tilke was hired to make changes to the Formula One circuit, Hockenheim. And while he had the opportunity to do something great, he didn't. Here is a dramatic reconstruction of the design meeting that took place.
Mr. Tilke, thank you for joining us. We need your help to help us redesign Hockenheim to make it a little bit safer for everybody, while also making sure that it keeps the spirit of Hockenheim alive. We will pay you good money for this, sir.
Oh, absolutely. There you go. That's all you need.
But what about the rest of the circuit?
Hey, you don't need all that. Cut circuit in half.
So while the Hockenheim ring today is a mere shadow of what it used to be, are we really looking through rose-tinted glasses? Was the Hockenheim ring really as good as we remember it? And more importantly, would it be suitable for today's Formula One cars? So a question has been asked, and we of course are going to answer it by having a 5-lap race at the 1988 layout of Hockenheim, with of course the 2020 Formula One cars. So here we are at the old Hockenheim ring, and I am in the Alpha Tauri, by far the best looking new design of the 2020 lineup. It is an absolute spectacle, this car. It's fantastic to look at. Now, it should be mentioned for transparency's sake that I did find a 2001 version of Hockenheim, and that didn't go to plan at all, because the AI just simply didn't know what to do. There isn't really an old Hockenheim where the AI just works. So I thought I'd have a bit of a gamble and see how well the 1988 version went. So we're here on the grid, ready to set off in our gorgeous Alpha Tauri. We're starting alongside Daniel Ricciardo over on the right, so might as well get the revs up and the clutch in, ready to set off. And away we go. Getting a very good start. We're blasted past Esteban Ocon there. Now, in this version of Hockenheim, you notice that this isn't a king, it's a sweeping right-hander, which, I will be honest, I do prefer the more modern version of Hockenheim. Now, another thing about the AI in this is that they don't really know what to do, and they're using the DRS as soon as they get out of the corner, unlike in F1 where you have to wait till lap 4, but it's only a 5-lap race, so we might as well just get on with it. What can I say about Hockenheim is, other than a few people have came to me and said the old Hockenheim is basically the German Monza, and I can see why, because been a bit of an accident ahead. That's a tight chicane, that was nasty. Well, we've made up a good amount of places there. Yeah, it is the German Monza, because basically all the corners are linked together by these enormous sections, and then they're just split up by chicanes, like Monza is. And in Monza, you've got the Parabolica and Ascari to break it up a little bit, whereas in this one, you've got this whole section of the stadium, which I absolutely love, when you've gone into those forests, and then you come back, and then you're back into the stadium. So it's kind of like the Nürburgring, when it mixes up the Nordschleife and the GP circuit. I absolutely love it for that. But you can tell these corners were made for lower downforce cars, because this car is just eating them up. Like, I'm turning in too early and hardly need to brake at all. Here we were on lap 2, now we've made up a good amount of positions. We're in position 5 now, behind Max Verstappen. Little bit of history for you. This part of the circuit is very famous because I think it was in 2001 or the year 2000, a very stupid man decided to get onto the Formula One circuit and run around on track while the cars were going by at 200 miles an hour. And believe me, I have my own video coming out about people who do that, because they really really get on my gears and really make me angry because they simply do not understand how dangerous that really is. But I digress. Whoa! What on earth? That frightened me a little bit. Lightning quick sensors there. This version, or the old Hockenheim, was met with quite a lot of negativity from the drivers and the teams because you were running the cars at 80%, like flat out 80%. And the only time it got to slow down was the stadium sections and the chicanes. So they often found that the cars were struggling to... Oh, sorry Esteban. Went into the back of you there, I do apologise. Teams were often finding that the cars were overheating a lot while going around this circuit. And they were struggling to maintain the fuel because the engines were just running on so much power back then as well. They were gas guzzling V12s and V10s. One thing I have noticed about this circuit is how narrow it is. You can barely fit two cars side by side, which is a real surprise because I always remembered Hockenheim being bigger. Who are we behind right now? Oh, it's Carlos Sainz. We're in second place. He's in the lead. Sebastian Vettel's behind us by about 5 seconds. Let's see if we can get a hold of good old Carlos here. Which, by the way, Carlos, congratulations for getting signed by Ferrari. That is a heck of an achievement because everybody always wants to win with the big red car on the track. Ever since Schumacher. I don't have a Formula 1 wheel. Some people might scoff at me for that. But don't worry, I am going to be getting one. Also to note that Hockenheim is also a place of sadness because we lost arguably the greatest racing driver of all time here. That being Jim Clark. He spun off into the trees and he was just no more, which is such a shame because in my opinion, he was the greatest racing driver of all time. Oh, Carlos! I'm coming by! I'm coming by, Carlos! The McLaren's just mincemeat at the moment. Look at that, an Alpha Tauri in the lead at Old Hockenheim. Would you believe it? Right, time to get on the brakes. As he goes around the outside! Oh, what a move by the McLaren! Absolutely fantastic move, but now we're in the slipstream. He's using the DRS still. I wonder how early he's going to get on the brakes here. Oh, he got on quite late. A little bit better than the other AIs beforehand. Go on, can we win this race? But besides the amazing racing and the terrible driving that's going on from my half right now, what a nostalgia trip it is to be back at Old Hockenheim. Oh, very slow through there, Carlos. It's such a shame they don't race here anymore. But if I may be honest, this circuit is nowhere near appropriate for Formula 1. The modern day of Formula 1. It's too narrow, and the downforce of the cars is just... It makes the cars run even more hard than what they did back then. Because I'm taking that corner almost flat out. It's just, I'm not brave enough to go faster through there. We're leaving Carlos Sainz for dead as we're on the last lap now. Absolutely brutalising this straight. These chicanes though, they flow together so well. That chicane there is also called Jim Clark Curve, which is named after Jim Clark, obviously. And in more modern versions of the track, this isn't a left-right. It was changed to a right-left and then into a sweeping right-hander. And I would have used that version of the track. Unfortunately, it just doesn't look as good, and the AI simply didn't know what to do. Right, how fast can we take this? 150 miles an hour through there. What an absolute machine. These cars are absolute machines. They're so fast. And would you believe it that I'm actually driving with the cars on maximum difficulty? It's just, I don't think the AI has been programmed for this track very well. But here we are, across the line, from 12th to 1st position. in the modern F1 cars. There we are, first place at Old Hockenheim. And what a brilliant, brilliant nostalgia trip that was, coming back to Old Hockenheim. And I've got to say, it's much, much more fun, and it's a much better racetrack than the current Formula 1 track that we get today, where it's just basically cut in half and it's very lazy. I have to be honest, and I cannot be biased here, the new Hockenheim is more better suited for these cars than this circuit is. This circuit is more suited for brute power and low downforce. So the real question is, should F1 go back to the old version of Hockenheim? No. As much as everyone would like it, it's just simply not suitable for the modern technology of F1, whereas the track is way too narrow, the corners are not tight enough, and the cars have just got too much downforce, so the cars would break very easily. I would highly recommend giving this a try though, just so you guys can see for yourself. If you've enjoyed this video, then I would really appreciate you hitting the like button. It would help me a lot, as much as if you're new here, hitting that subscribe button and the notification bell for more videos like this. I would greatly appreciate it, and it would help me out a heck of a lot. But now it is time to end the video, and I shall see you all in the next race. Have a good night, everybody.